What up, what up, what up? Jacob Conine here with Company 9, tuning in from Toledo, Ohio, and I had a question for the world. What is legacy? What is legacy? You know, when I was asked that question a long time ago, I still think about it every day, and I try to think about what do I want to be known for? What do I want to be remembered for? You know, it seems like life's so quick sometimes. For you guys that don't know, I'm 26 years old. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Born and raised on the good old east side. It's a little bit more of a rougher upbringing type of neighborhood, middle to lower class. You know, I grew up in a single family home. Dad really wasn't around too much when I was younger. Raised by three older brothers. One real brother, my brother David, who I actually lost 2 years ago, was like a dad to me. So one of the biggest challenges that I went through personally at a young age, you know, has been able to develop me and help me grow up into the man that I'm becoming today. So I wanted to share my story with you. I'm just an average Joe. Nothing really too special about me. Like I said, I grew up in a household of three older boys, so naturally I was very competitive. Always grew up in sports, from things like kick the can when we couldn't afford a football, all the way to being the water boy for 2 years before I could even get on a football field. Was really good in sports, did it to make my mom proud. You know, she worked really hard to make sure that me and my brothers had the things that we needed to go to school, to play sports. And I just remember growing up, her just busting her butt to make sure that ends could provide. And for me, that was my biggest motivating factor, was how do I make my mom proud, right? How do I give back to the woman who gives her all every day to make sure us boys live a good life? And at a young age, I think the only way I can do it was through sports, and that's just why I was so competitive. That led into school. I was very good in school. Went to Raymer Elementary, went to East Broadway Middle School, and then went to Waite High School my freshman year, and then graduated from Clay High School in Oregon, Ohio. Took all honors classes, had a 4.8 GPA at one point at Waite High School my freshman year. I did early college development, so my junior and senior year, I would take college classes at the local university. And again, I just did it to make my mom proud, you know. I was never allowed to come home with a B. I was never allowed to come home with a C. I remember that it was something that would frustrate her, and, you know, I thank her every day for that now, because that discipline held me to a standard of being different than the rest of the crowd, you know. Going to wrestling, I ended up taking 5th in the state of Ohio. I was an All-American. I have my plaque on the school wall, which is pretty cool. I didn't go to college and wrestle. I had a full ride to the University of Toledo, decided to take that scholarship and coach at Clay High School. Shout out to the Eagles. Was able to produce 2 state champions within the time that I coached there, and then ended up moving on to my college life and pursuing, you know, my career. Graduated from the University of Toledo with a bachelor's in business. I didn't graduate with the white picket fence. I didn't get the dog. I didn't get the 6-figure salary. I didn't get the girlfriend. You know, everything that a lot of us think that we're going to get at the end of college, I wasn't able to achieve. So from there, I just went back to my roots. How do I take this degree? How do I hustle? How do I work hard like I did my entire life to make my mom proud? But at this time, how do I make myself proud? And that was the first defining, you know, point for me in life. I found a sales company by the name of OSP, One Source Provider in Dearborn, Michigan. I thank God every day for that man, Dean Alali. He's really changed my life. He's gave me an opportunity to be able to come in to his organization with no business being in business. Again, just a young kid who grew up on the east side, raised by 3 older brothers with not the most positive message, you know. Ran the streets sometimes when I was younger, did some things that I wasn't supposed to do that I'm not thankful or proud of. But again, his company allowed someone with that type of background to be able to step into his organization and not be judged, and to have that family environment and that mentorship and that dad-like guidance, if you will, to be able to take me from a little boy that just graduated college, and within a year of going through a door-to-door sales training program, to becoming a man that had a child at the age of 21 and now was running a $1 million organization at the age of 21 years old. So I got started with OSP in 2014, and by 2015 I made it to a director position, which we call a business owner. I had the opportunity to make my own LLC, registered through the state of Ohio. hire my own staff. The company helped me find an office building. I'm located in a beautiful location downtown Toledo on Erie Street. I don't have any bills, any rent. I don't pay for my financial manager, my accountant, my attorney, my taxes, my workman's comp. And even with an unfortunate situation like COVID-19, I have $12,000 a month in overhead that continues to pour in. And because of my opportunity with OSP and Mr. Dean Alali, that's completely covered for me. So when you talk about blessings and when you talk about knowing how to take care of their employees and their partners, One Source Provider does it the OSP way, right? I've had the opportunity to go on trips to Cancun, Mexico, Las Vegas, Miami, Chicago. We've been to Punta Cana. I've been on multiple cruises. Again, all expenses paid for. I even had a chance to bring my mom with me, my son, my family. So the company's one that I never expected to give that type of opportunity, but with loyalty, with hard work, with dedication, with drive, with passion, and more importantly, with a why from within, right? My why was to make my mom proud. My why was to give back, to make sure that I left a legacy, something that I can be known for. Again, I lost my brother 2 years ago, and every day it eats me alive, right? But I use it for motivation, and I use it for leverage to become a bigger and better person. And I ask myself every day, what do I want to be known for? Who am I? And who do I want to be when I leave this planet? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll bring some more details over the next few weeks. Juice?